As the nation enters a crucial junction in its democratic journey, many parties face the hurdle of internal cohesion as the jostle for positions took a defining turn. Defections continue as some key parties lose key men while some welcome new members with some game-changing decisions on the table. On Political Update today, the electoral bill and its implication for future polls continues to dominate discussions. Plus, some key dates loom in 2022 for off-cycle elections and some by-elections as well. Will the outcomes give pointers on 2023? Join us for this and more on the program. I'm Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. The role of professionals in politics and nation building was the issue that dominated discussions at the inaugural conference of the All Progressives Congress Professionals Forum in Abuja, which had Vice President Emmanuel in attendance.
The saying that a bird does not fly with only one wing, and so it is with politics and governance, or rather politicians and professionals.
Basically, there are challenges, but what I know is that once you bring your skill, your professionalism to system, say no when you need to say no, say yes when you need to say yes, then you know you have a place in the political space.
I know that part of the problems we have is that the professionals, when they go into politics, they abandon their ethics because professional comes with ethics.
And there's nothing as discouraging as when it's time for appointments, you begin to bring strangers, all in the name of experts, technocrats, who were not there when the campaigns were going on.
The argument here is of two folds. While some decried the non-involvement of the elite in politics, others are of the view that professionals in politics are not adequately utilized. Whichever way it is, the Vice President underscores the need for every Nigerian to get involved in the task of nation building.
Development and prosperity cannot be understood merely as the exceptionalism of a few individuals that manage to prevail against the odds. This is not an adequate response to the challenges that confront us. True progress is about reimagining our collective circumstances and creating an environment that enables prosperity for us all. This is the challenge for us as professionals. It's only through public spiritedness and dedication to the common good that we can, as a people, truly become greater than the sum of our parts.
Discussion by these panelists further emphasized commitment to nation building.
Do well to remember that this during the lifetime of this administration, that the youth, the women, and today the professionals are now picking the gauntlet to show to Nigeria that politics is a serious business.
President Muhammad Buhari has set up high government administration standard, and we must continue to build on that.
The forum says it aims to harness all available professional skills and expertise in promoting and driving the party manifesto and activities for the benefit of all Nigerians.
Meanwhile, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, has described stories in some media outlets stating that Vice President Emmanuel will announce his intention to run for president in 2023 after the February 26 APC National Convention as false and speculative snippets. Akonde, via his Twitter handle, posited that any information on activities of the Vice President will come directly from his office and not sponsored speculations in the press. Defection of key party men, especially from the main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the ruling APC is not tailing off anytime soon. Last week, President Muhammadu Buhari formally received the Deputy Minority Leader of the Senate and Senator representing Taraba South Senatorial District in the Senate, Senator Emmanuel Bacha. Senator Bacha says his decision is an expression of the wishes of his people.
It's a great day for APC today. If there's a professional politician, you are one of them. You have come all the way along from House of Assembly, Representative, Senate. I think you are gradually moving to this office. I wouldn't mind. you are genuinely welcome, and I am congratulating the chair of APC and the party itself for having you.
The EB bridge, which had been awarded and work is ongoing, was awarded under President Muhammad Buhari. Nobody from my senatorial district is not happy about this project because this has been our cry since the colonial days. And under his watch, the Kashimbila Dam project had been completed. So I had to answer to the calls of my constituent to join this party and redefine the narrative in Taraba State and restore its lost glory. I am calling on all and sundry to join forces together so that we can build a better Taraba, where governance will be seen as the hope of the people and where development of infrastructure will be a key priority. Basically, that is my mission statement.
All right, we'll be hearing more from the horse's mouth live on the program today. And joining us is Senator Emmanuel Bacha, representing Taraba South Senatorial District. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak with you, especially just moving from the chambers straight to our live studio. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, by this decision, first of all, you can no longer hold that position of Deputy Minority Leader. Am I correct?
Absolutely. In
now,
fact, my replacement has been...
yes.
Yeah.
So now, did you consult with your former party before leaving them, or did they just see it on the network service of the NTA?
Well, the decision didn't come as a surprise to my colleagues who are with me in the Senate, including the leadership of the minority in the Senate. This is because they are aware and they are in the picture of the division that arose as a result of exclusion of my person in constituting the structure of the party at the world level up to the state level. And even the national, by the way, because some members of my party are members of the National Working Committee. I don't know them as I speak with you. I don't even know who is my ward chairman. So, and I think this may come as a surprise to many people who are familiar with the politics of party or with party politics, that a key member of the party of my standing is not aware of how leaders emerge from his ward, his local government, his senatorial district, talk more of the state. So already at that point...
Did you make any effort to perhaps see that, you are carried along?
Oh, I did. That is why I said my colleagues in the Senate are aware. There is no meeting, no interaction we've had with the party at the national that my issue does not come up. Actually, I commend Senator Abaribe, who are taking it upon himself. Not only Abaribe, all those who are in the leadership of the minority had tried to call on the leadership of the party at the national to ensure they address the injustice that was meted out to me. And this has given rise to a lot of agitations from my people who are loyal to me, people who are my fans, so to speak, who follow me along the leadership journey and have been so worried. And like I said the other day, this movement to leave the PDP had been long awaited by my people. They had always insisted, what am I doing in the party that does not need me? And they've made several, we made effort. I remember the days of Secondus. He tried in his own way, according to him, to reach out to the governor, and that the governor insisted that I will not have my way, that I will not have an input into the leadership of the party from my ward to the local government and all that. We thought it was like a joke. And here we are, we're moving towards election. And we know the roles these cronies, these hand-picked individuals play in the elections that will follow. Now, this is further encouraged. That is, I'm talking about my defection now. It's further encouraged by some presence of infrastructure that were brought to my senatorial district by the ruling party. So if you are staying where you are being choked and you don't want to move, now look at what the other party is doing in your zone. Go and join them. That is why I specifically choose this party, not for any reason, but because the presence of government infrastructure is felt in my senatorial district. And if I have such a division that is allowed by law, wherein there are factionalization in the state, so what am I doing there? I had rather move to a party where I have seen them working in my state. It's against my party, which is in government at the state. And we haven't seen anything that can be compared to this. As I speak with you, the road linking my local government, my community, to my local government headquarters is under construction. And I would have given you a pictorial of it, even here on phone, to see that seeing is believing.
So you would, during the transfer window, as a sportsman would say, and you have, changed logo. But are you convinced this is the right direction in terms of what you have said? And you mentioned the issues of your followers. Does ideology play any role at all in our politics these days, or is just an issue of political differences or political convergence of interests?
As it stands today in the country, ideology plays a little role in party decisions. It's convenience and interests of community, interests of individual vis-a-vis serving the larger community. Now, if these interests predominate, that of party which is not well defined, because I said the other day that our parties are not built or premised on ideological foundation. I have said this time with them, and that is why you see preponderance of this movement all over the place. I am aware that this...
Some even have two different logos in their boot.
So if you shoot them, they brings out the other one, isn't it, and change the party. So this brings us to another debate wholly as to when we are going to develop parties that will stand the test of time. Parties that will not be just for convenience of, community interests or state interests or interests of individual. I have been long an advocate of such, but I'm trusting God that we're getting there now as events unfold, because I started the example of the speaker before Pelosi in the U.S. Congress, who said, I'm talking of Ryan now, Speaker Ryan, in the emergence of President Trump, he said he was not supportive of Trump and he wasn't going to vote Trump. Again, he was not going to vote any other person. So meaning, if you vote another person, it will be against the interests of his party, which had been entrenched ideologically. Are you following? So now, if I am not held by any string, and these are people who are against development, you want to develop an infrastructure, they are angry about it. The leadership of the party at my state frowns anytime I want to bring development. As I'm talking to you now, the renovation of a traditional palace, our most revered traditional palace, the Akuka, who bowed to the wishes of his ancestors recently, was supposed to have been undergoing construction now. But the leadership of the party said, no, it cannot happen because it's coming from you. You are our enemy. An enemy from the same party? I've never heard of this.
All right, so but some have said, we don't know how authentic that is, but some people abandon the story that this defection is also as a result of some future ambition that you may have in terms of that state.
Well, let me even ask you, is there any politician that has no ambition? Is there any existing politician that has no ambition? Now, I'm taking you there. If you say it has to do with my ambition, is that a sin? That if I want to contest, of course you know that I'm eminently qualified to contest for any political office in this country. Even as you will hear Mr. President jokingly said. But what I'm trying to say is, politics is not all about elections. Politics is about doing the needful in any community, in any space.
You threw the question back to me, but yes. I still need you to answer. Were you anticipating a closed gate somewhere else before you chose this new tunnel?
I said it. I said I've been choked. You are not given opportunity to even say anything to contribute to development. Talk more of even contesting election. You are not allowed to develop your communities. Then you are talking of election. Election comes through process of selection within the party hierarchy, within people who are carefully choosing to project the interests of the party, and I'm not there. So that
let me take one more. Let me take some stories before we come for the closing lines. The concerned Northern PDP stakeholders is appealing to the party's National Working Committee to remain neutral in the processes that will lead to the emergence of its presidential candidate for the 2023 general election.
Northern PDP stakeholders, who are largely former members of the House of Representatives, represented others at this meeting. They resolved to stand by PDP leaders and the National Working Committee in their promise not to disenfranchise any zone, but to search with political magnifying glasses for the most credible, competent and formidable presidential candidate for the 2023 election.
The NWC has demonstrated its resolve not to deny any geopolitical zone from vying for the presidential ticket. In the light of that resolve, enjoin all party members to do everything in our power not to disenfranchise any zone, as our chief goal is to take over the presidency.
And still on the 2023 presidential election, under the platform of the Third Force, which is a coalition of other political parties excluding the PDP and APC, a member of the National Consultative Front, the major driver of the coalition, Adewale Adebayo, has offered to join in the presidential race.
We need a good electoral act. The electoral bill sent to the president is not one of the best, but it's an improvement over the one we are using now.
A professor of petroleum and chemical engineering, Professor Chris Imumolen, indicated similar interest in entering the presidential race.
We have over 60% active youth in Nigeria, and the youth need to believe in youth.
He urged fellow members of the opposition political parties to close ranks towards the emergence of a credible candidate.
In another development, the National Executive Committee of the Allied People's Movement has passed the vote of no confidence and suspended the entire board of trustees of the party until further notice.
This is an emergency National Executive Committee meeting of the Allied People's Movement. The meeting, among other resolutions, mandated the Yusuf Dantale-led National Working Committee to initiate a process for the conduct of state congresses and national convention of the party after the 2023 general election.
We have resolved that the BOT of our party, as presently constituted, is deficient, ineffective, and cannot perform our official functions as clearly stated in our constitution. Consequently, we have decided to unanimously pass a vote of no confidence and suspend the entire BOT until further notice. That we have mandated the National Chairman and the National Working Committee to henceforth continue to function in their stead.
I'm not suspended, and nobody can suspend me because I'm a stakeholder of this party.
NEC also gave approval to the party's national chairman to negotiate with like-minded political parties that will want to enter into alliance or coalition with the APM in contesting various offices in 2023 general election without compromising the party's ideology. The emergency NEC also adopted a new membership card with a code for effective membership drive and identification of members.
You agree with me that the political corridor is getting crowded and exciting. The APC stalwarts and youths agree that the successful conduct of the forthcoming general election will propel the party to future successes. Kogi State Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Femi Fanwo, joined us earlier. He says all hands are on deck, especially the youths.
We have every confidence to say the party is good to go as far as the February 26th convention is concerned. And when you look at the track record of the Buni-led CACPC, you would agree with me that they've kept to their timetable. They've kept to all the promises that they made to the party when they took over the affairs of the party. And one of the promises is that they were going to ensure stability of the party. Today, the party is stable. They also promised to mobilize new members into the party through the membership registration and revalidation. They've been able to move millions into the party. Today, our party is made up of 41 million Nigerians. That is the largest in the entire Africa by a single political party. And also they have been able to bring high-profile individuals, including governors, senators. You just saw the Senate Deputy Minority Leader joining the party. So you would call Malabuni the Pini Zahavi of politics because in terms of political transfers, he has broken a lot of records by bringing in governors of states, senators, members of the House of Representatives, and other high-caliber individuals across the country. He has fulfilled that promise. Then they also promised to organize, credible congresses. From the ward to the local government to the state level, they've been able to organize those congresses. They also promised to reconcile the party. They set up a reconciliation committee led by our own respected Senator Abdullahi Adam. And the committee just submitted their report a few days ago. That shows that we are moving in the right direction. And also part of the timetable was to issue this certificates of return to our state chairman, which was done successfully yesterday. So we're on track. And, we want to assure party members that this CCPC is ready to organize a convention to remember.
All right, before we go, we still have Senator Emmanuel Bacha here. Is cross-carpeted or changed logos, whichever one. But what will be your word to your constituents and also, as you have said, your fans as we move forward? And of course, you know how it is going to look like in 2022 is a political year in terms of so many dates with destiny.
Well, my appeal to my constituents, now that I have answered their call, is to come together and fortify the bond of unity so that we can build this party that will bring a new victory to us as a people. And this call goes to include the entire segment of the state, the central and the north senatorial district. Anything I said about the internal wranglings we have had in the PDP is common knowledge to the people. And I said that politics is about bringing development to the people, putting smiles on the faces of the people, not bringing woes to the people. I mentioned areas where I've tried to bring development and it had been thwarted, all within the same party. And this strengthens the manifestation of division that is in the party. I said it before. I mentioned areas where we have come into direct conflict because of what I want to do for the people. Let me give you one scenario.
Well, time is not our friend, but quickly.
Very quickly. Traditional rulers were appointed, and the government before this present government had planned to do so, but to build houses for traditional rulers and buy them vehicles before you give them promotion. But you're giving them promotion, nowhere to sleep, no vehicles to ride. A traditional ruler you've promoted to third class or second class holds his staff of office in the keke napep and is riding. How does that speak of you as a government? So you must do this thing orderly and decently too, that the people will rejoice and know that this is from government, not playing politics with this promotion.
All right, this is Political Update. Yes. We allow you to play politics. That has been the program for today. We've had Senator Emmanuel Bacha, and you, as a part of the program, watching us, as always, continue to watch the Nigerian Television Authority, where we give you the very best of news, reviews, previews, and interviews. We'll be back, God willing, on Friday with a fresher program. Don't forget, play your politics for the greater good. Bye-bye now.